Well, the bad news is that we're playing the Knicks. The good news is that we get a chance to beat them again, and at least it's on our home court. I hate that disgusting team. They're actually at the top of the division right now. Winning record and everything. Playoff bound. And the Celtics are actually starting to gain traction as they're not too many games behind into winning a playoff spot. They're about to get Al Horford back, who's been out for months with a broken right leg. Don't know how he's coming back that fast from it. Kelly Olynyk is going to be back in 2 weeks, and Tyler Zeller is going to be back in 2 weeks. They've been missing a lot of depth in their front court, a lot of size down low. So now we have to keep a very sharp eye out on their rise as they have 2 months left and not too many games to climb. So let's get this party started, shall we? It's Latin nights in Brooklyn, Los Nets versus Nueva York. And we do not get Latin night started off correctly. Porzingis there, getting the easy layup inside, no matter. Lin to Bogdanovic coming off the screen, nailing the triple from the arc to put us up by 1. Later in the quarter, Knicks up by 3. Lin working Rose on the outside, finally gets the pick, kicks it out to Scola, in the corner, triple, nails it. Tie ball game. Next possession though. Porzingis nails the triple to put the Knicks up by 3. As we moved on in the first. Knicks now up 6. Little give and go action here. Bogdanovic working his way inside for the easy slam. Great play there. Bogdanovic doing a great job not only outside but inside, averaging about 13 a game. Speaking of inside, outside, there's Rose going outside, inside, slashing his way to the paint to get the easy layup there. And then next possession for the Knicks, Courtney Lee from 3. Not loving the defense on them thus far as they went up 9. Later in the quarter, Lee cut down to 4. Jeremy Lin powering his way past Jason Terry. Hop, step, layup, good. Cut that lead to 2. Now tied ball game. Randy Boyd coming in relief for Jeremy Lin. Kicks it inside the Booker. Outside to Miller. Nails the triple. Nets now up by 3. Moving towards the end of the first here. Randy Boyd knifing his way inside. Gets it in to put the Nets up by 5 to close out the first. Jeremy Lin back in now. A little pick and roll action with Brook Lopez. The Brook-Lin connection. Gets it in for 2 to push the lead to 5, but Knicks would not go away easy. Inside feed to Porzingis to put them finally back up by 1. And then inbound play here. Just terrible defense. Nobody finally gets out there. Mike Miller can't work around Kuzminkas. And Teletovic hits the open 3 as he sat out there all day. Speaking of Kuzminkas, next possession he lays it up nice and easy to put the Knicks up by 6. Towards the end of the quarter, McCullough working inside, kicks it out to Booker, trying to hit the 3 there. McCullough still working inside though, no matter. Gets the rebound and lays it up to push the lead back down to 3. And then later in the third, alley-oop play there by Rose and Anthony as Anthony just decided, nope, I'm gonna make this my quarter. Layup there by Anthony as he's trying to finally get his way into double digits in this game. So we needed a response. In comes Brook Lopez off the feed from Jeremy Lin, just working his way inside. Did not care about Joakim Noah and slammed it home. Just from the corner of the paint, Brook Lopez nailing the 2 there as he started off there with 6 points in the second. And then nice cut and feed inside there to Lopez yet again. He'd actually come out with 14 by the end of the third. Lopez inside again, little shimmy move, gets around Porzingis, fade away, nails it. Cutting that lead down to 1 as the Nets are trying to keep this game close. Nets up 5 later on. Randy Foy off the pick, easy layup inside. He's been doing a great job coming off the bench. He's been the answer that we've needed at that point guard position there. Kick outside, McCullough tying this ball game up. And then, as we moved into the fourth, midway through, Bogdanovic missing the 3 there as we're only down 2. Lopez working his way inside. He had a monster night on the boards and doing his job to keep us alive in this one, but Carmelo Anthony would not go away. The second half was his, and especially the fourth. Carmelo working here on Bogdanovic. Spin, fade away, just like Lopez to push that lead to 5 for the Knicks. A little over 2 minutes to go. Carmelo Anthony just going off. stepping away there to hit the 2, the very long 2. But the Nets would answer. Jeremy Lin from the corner. Closing that gap down to 2. Closing on a minute to go. Carmelo Anthony working on Bogdanovic. Kicked it out to Porzingis. Can't nail the 3. Nets have a chance to tie. Lin pushing it up the floor. Waiting. Gets it inside the Scola. Little turnaround jumper. How about that to tie up the game in a packed arena full of Manhattan and Brooklyn fans at the Barclays. Anthony still working though. Corner, Porzingis nails the 3 with 40 seconds to go. And now we've got a fight on our hands. Jeremy Lin, given pick and roll offense there. Again, inside the Lopez works to perfection to close the gap to 1. Nets down 3 here. Bad inbounds possession here. They can't get open fast enough for Kilpatrick and Scola. 5-second violation. No matter on the very next play. Scola would actually cause a turnover but can't hit the 3 as the lead will remain at 3 for the Knicks. Derrick Rose at the line. Makes his first free throw. Second free throw puts this one away. And he misses. Bogdanovic out to Kilpatrick. Lin for the long 2. If he had just gotten his foot outside, they could have made that a 1-point game and forced New York to have to make 2 free throws. So we go to the inbounds. 5 seconds left. Scola making up for his mistakes. And then you get one more chance to inbound it here with 4 seconds to go as he picked it off there. Lin. Ice cold, baby. 3-pointer with 2 seconds left. Brooklyn would have to play defense one more time. Can they close them out for 2 seconds? Noah here on the inbound. It's Carmelo Anthony. Kirkpatrick in his face. Kilpatrick does it. Enough defense to force Carmelo to miss. Brooklyn wins in a stunner here at the Barclays. A victory that I'm more than glad to give these Brooklyn fans who came out tonight, and a nice way to stick it to the Knicks who are at the top of the division. Start to get them to move down in the playoffs if they do end up making it in the end. And of course, it's nice to kind of have the lead in the rivalries. We've beaten them twice thus far this year. Love the effort. Brook Lopez was absolutely fantastic the entire night. A 30 for 20 game. 30 and 20 game, I should say. 30 points, 20 rebounds. Jeremy Lin got to play the hero. And we came out with the W. So I went off to Charlotte. Well, actually, before I went to Charlotte, I stopped by Maryland as we have a lot of home games, but Charlotte is the only away game that we have, and the All-Star game is down in New Orleans. So, before I went to Charlotte, I stopped by Maryland to go check out Deshaun Miles. Really like the kid, so I wanted to see what was up with him. He was actually in the state championship game, going up against the King George Pirates in Silver Springs, Maryland, at their home court. Deshaun Miles again. I got to see him in person. He never fails to impress. The kid is outright amazing. Scored 18 points in the first and was absolutely terrorizing that Pirates team. And then that Pirates team did something very interesting. King George decided to go ahead and put their shooting guard, Marquis Stapleton, at 6'7", long reach, very good defender on him, and shuffle him around with their center, who's actually going to play forward in college, Calvin Hastings, who has the length and at 6'11", could kind of hold him more accountable on the perimeter and force him to take more difficult jump shots. Surprisingly, that worked. They allowed their smaller guys to go ahead and handle everything in the paint, and it worked to perfection. They got easy balls, continued to get on fast break opportunities, laid up inside. Calvin Hastings has a very, very nice shooting touch around the perimeter and inside as well. Some decent finesse post moves. Stapleton, really, really good outside shooter and can work his way inside as well. And they both absolutely teamed up to make sure that Miles was limited as much as possible. Miles actually ended up going off for 41, but it was not enough to hold off the Pirates from winning the state championship. Miles actually at some point in the game had a few words for Calvin Hastings and the refs. You can see the anger getting there, and if there's anything on the scouting report, hey, listen, I think the guy can win, but if they're right about his attitude, I can see it. But that's passion. Who doesn't want that out of their players? Passion when they're losing. To try to strike up a fire and show that, hey, we're still in this. Called it a night there in Silver Spring so I could head over to Baltimore and talk with the officials there who are bringing in the new team, discuss whether they should come in this year or next year, whether I'm going to vote yay or nay, or at least to try to have them sway my vote. I will be voting yes for them to come in this year. I would rather deal with the damage now than deal with it later. I don't think that we have a complete roster right now. There are a few players that I'd like to protect, but not enough of them where I think it's going to be that huge of an issue if we lose a few of them. And then we could still make some moves in the trade market as well as we're approaching the trade deadline. Matter of fact, I got a few trade requests. The Kings were interested in trading away Ben McLemore in their 19th second-round pick for Bogdanovich. I did not bite. I don't think Ben McLemore is exactly the shooting guard that I want, and I kind of want to keep Bogdanovich around as well, as I'm still trying to fill out that perimeter forward spot. I think that he fits that quite nicely. And then the Hornets tried to pull a baby comeback with Jeremy Lin as they posted up Cody Zeller and Spencer Hawes for Jeremy Lin and Chris McCullough. No, that ain't happening. I'd rather take you on to Charlotte and beat you with Jeremy Lin. You can't let him go and then decide that you want him back all of a sudden. Not happening. And especially not with Chris McCullough in that trade. Absolute no. So let's go ahead and talk about this Charlotte game, shall we? As we're home to the Hornets. Jeremy Lin, hey, right on cue. Inside Lopez, nasty facial to start off the first, right on top of Roberson's head. No regard for his life. Nets up 3-2 later in the first. Jeremy Lin trying to size up Kemba, gets right past him. Easy slam on top of Marvin Williams. Apparently it's dunk night here in Charlotte. Nets up by 1. Jalen, three-pointer. I see why you want him back. Too bad you can't have him. Brooklyn up 8-5. Kilpatrick. Wow, he's showing his touch too. Nets getting what they want on those jumpers. Nice little fadeaway there to put us up a little bit more. Up by 4. Booker trying to do a little spin jumper of his own. Fadeaway there, no good. Kemba Walker back up the floor though on the other end. Kicking it out to Ramon Sessions. Comes off the pick. Inside feed to Kaminsky. Inside to Hibbert. Takes the foul from Booker and 1. Would go to the line and miss his free throw though. Kaminsky kicking it out to Kemba Walker for 3. He nailed that one to close the gap to 3 there. And then Sessions nailing a 3 there at the top of the second quarter to tie it all up. Never mind though, Brooklyn would be right back on the attack. Jeremy Lin tried to drive inside there, couldn't make his way through in the hop step, so he kicked it back out to Bogdanovich to nail the 3 and put us up by 4. Closing in on midway through the second, Jeremy Lin picks the pocket of Ramon Sessions, inside feed to Scola, who dishes off to McCullough, coming back in transition to lay it up. Hornets still working though. From the corner, Roberson hitting the 3 there to close the gap to 1, and then Ramon Sessions. Inside feed to Hibbert, who misses there but collects his own miss, lays it back up in to put Charlotte back up on top. Nets up 3 later in the second. Marvin Williams from the corner, no good, and this is where things would get crazy. Hibbert batted it back out to Roberson, who would shoot a 3 of his own. Hibbert would collect his own miss again, and then Roberson again from 3, still no good. Nets would then push it right back up the floor. Inside feed, alley-oop to Chris McCullough. The highlight reel show. Gotta love that kid and the work that he puts in. Later in the second, though, Nets will be down 3. Randy Foye working, shaking, baking. Got the pick there from Lopez. Outside feed to Booker from the corner. Nails that one to tie it all up. Moving on to the third quarter. Lopez midway through. Brooklyn up by 1. Now up 4 off the 3 from Bogdanovich in the corner. He's been really reliable now late into the season from 3. Way better than earlier on in the season. as the Nets get the 2 there to push the lead to 4. Later on in the third, as we start to close it out here, Kemba Walker from the corner nailing the triple to put Charlotte back up again, and then we move into the fourth. Game all tied up, 85 apiece. Jalen missing there, and then Charlotte pushes it right back up the floor. Sessions trying to size up Lynn, just waiting for his moment. Kicks it to Roberson, pump fake on the 3, steps out a little bit, nails it. 88-85 Charlotte. Moving on later. In transition, poor defense. This has actually been a problem with the Nets all season, is their transition defense, as they give up an easy layup there to Zeller, and then Zeller again off the feed to lay it up and push Charlotte up to 7. Lead now up to 11. Nets still trying to stay in it. Lopez inside feed, Kilpatrick, no good. Roberson on the rebound, pushing it up in transition. And then Walker trying to size up Lynn there. And then a little give and go. Williams to Roberson, lays it up. That would pretty much close it out. Nets taking the L, 110-97. Not what I wanted to see after that trade offer. They fought pretty well in the first 3 quarters, and then it all fell apart towards the end in the fourth. But no matter. There's an All-Star game coming up, ain't there? And word on the street is that they needed a replacement in the slam dunk contest. So they picked Rondae Hollis Jefferson, of all people. Guess we'll see how he does in a little bit.